Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another From the Vault video. Today's video is going to be on my Glocks. Well, my other Glocks. I've already done a From the Vault video on my Glock pistols, but I think it's time that I show you how geeky I actually am and how deep the rabbit hole goes when it comes to my collecting. And so I have some of the other items that Glock makes. Yes, Glock makes more than just pistols. In fact, they got their start way back in the early 70s making things like curtain rods, because Mr. Glock was a master of polymers, and that's kind of how he cut his teeth in the business world, and then later he got into making knives, and that was his first contract when it came to the Austrian military. And we're going to start with the blades. Now, I believe the first knife came out in 1978, and it was called the Model 78. They still make those from time to time, but the two knives I have on the table today are the Model 81s. Now, these are just a little bit different, obviously coming out in 1981, and the main difference is the backstrap of this blade is a saw as well. So the Model 78 is just a straight blade, and then the Model 81 has this saw back to it as well. These are still in production, and if you are a knife collector, I kind of recommend picking up one. They are really nice field knives. And I do have a Model 78 on order. They also offer all these knives in various colors. So we obviously have the one in black. I have one in olive drab as well. So here's my olive drab Glock 81. I also have one on order that's in flat dark earth and in gray. And that's all of the four colors that they have. So this really is kind of the first product that Glock made that kind of put them on the market when it comes to police and military. Pretty nice fixed blade weapons. They are used in the Austrian army to this day, and I think if you are a true Glock collector, you gotta pick up a couple of these. I wanna say, as I'm filming this, the Model 81s go for about $30 to $40, and the Model 78s, if you can find them because they're made in smaller batches and at times are discontinued, they're between $70 and $100. But now let's move on to another product that they make for the Austrian military, and this is the Glock Entrenching Tool. Now, all of these things that I'm showing you today are actually made by Glock. I know that other companies like Smith & Wesson, they make knives, but essentially they subcontract out those knives to other companies and other countries. But all of these products are actually made in the Glock factory in Austria. So this is the Glock Entrenching Tool. And so it's kind of like a portable shovel and saw. So it can unfold, you can lock the spade in place, you can elongate the handle, you can pull this out, you rotate it, and it screws in place, giving you a nice firm handle. You can also unscrew the cap at the bottom, and this allows you to get to a saw blade that is concealed inside, and you can also use this saw blade as well to tighten the nut at the top for the spade, so that will not move when you're using it, and then you can just store that saw blade back in the handle. This is actually pretty darn well constructed. As you can see, it does have the Glock logo there. I think it's upside down in this case, maybe. Yeah, it's upside down. It's hard for me to get it on the camera, but there is the logo. These are made, as I said, in Austria, and they're pretty darn cool. I think these are actually a pretty good item if you have a bug out bag or the like. You never know when you might need this, especially if you're going to be traversing long distances on foot. It's probably something pretty cool to have, plus that little saw. So besides just being an item of interest because Glock makes it and it is a military item, I think it's actually a pretty good item for preppers because it folds up into such a small package, and they even send a little sheath with it as well, and that's pretty cool. The last thing I want to show you is a light. And yes, Glock does make lights for pistols. Now, when Glock came out with these, I believe in the 1990s, they were about as state-of-the-art as you can get. Because back then, we really didn't have very advanced LED technology like we do today, which gives us amazing companies like Streamlight and Surefire. But back in the time, in the 1990s, they were using xenon bulbs, which put out about 70 lumens, which of course, by today's standards, is inadequate. But Glock made lights back then, still makes them today, still using xenon bulb technology, and they just refuse to upgrade. So these are actually pretty pricey for what they are, for low performance lights. These go for about $70. This is the Model 10, I think it's the GT10 or the GL10. And they also make one that has a laser as well. It's the Model 21, GL21. I'd have to double check the exact catalog number. And those can be about $220. So you're going to overpay for both of these, especially because you're only getting a 70 lumen light that uses a xenon bulb that can break and wear out over time relatively fast. They do provide, in the case, an extra bulb in case you do need it, but that's not very reassuring. But if you are a Glock collector, I kind of feel like you do need to own one of these just because it was kind of the OG of Glock lights. It is made by Glock and is a piece of Glock history. So if you are a Glock collector, you got to have one of these lights as well. So that's really my other Glock collection. I really would like to get the one with the laser. And as I mentioned, when it comes to the fixed blades, I do have the other ones on order with the silver or the gray and the flat dark earth Model 81s, and I do have a 78 on order as well. And that will kind of complete my other Glock collection. So you guys can probably tell that I truly am a huge dork. So, and yes, I do like Glock. But if you do like Glocks and are like me, you got to pick up a few of these items. They're relatively cheap and inexpensive to a semi-automatic pistol, but if you're a fan of the Glock history and the Glock products, you just got to have some of these items, especially if you like military things, because these knives are used by the Austrian military, and so is the entrenching tool, and it is a pretty good prepper item as well, to put it in a bug out bag, and it folds up pretty compact. So there you go. So this is my other Glock collection, a little bit something different for today's video, and a From the Vault video just showing off the items of my collection. So what do you guys think? Are you guys dorks and geeks like I do and have to collect items like this, especially if they're associated with some of your favorite gun companies? Well, let me know in the comment section below and tell me what you have. So, as always, thanks for watching.